Welcome and thanks for tuning in. My name is Joe Davis and I am one of the owners of Joe and Colleen's Driving School. Colleen is my wife and she doesn't work in the car. She just keeps me on the straight and narrow, if you know what I mean. And welcome to these videos. This is going to be a video series of, I'm not exactly sure right now, but 9 or 10. Just short videos, maybe 5 to 12 minutes, something like that, just to help you learn the rules of the road, because a lot of people take lessons and they're not sure of the rules. But it's really important that when you get in the car to practice with an instructor that you're not always pulling over to the side of the road and discussing the rules. You want to be practicing operating the vehicle. You don't want to be learning the rules from scratch. So why not learn them in a classroom? And if a classroom's not available, well, why not a video on YouTube or something of that nature? So we were called Passing Lane Driving School years ago, and we closed that business down and moved on to other things. And now this is my 2.0 take of the driving school business. And just to let you know that I'm a retired school teacher, and I do this just at a comfortable pace. So I am full-time at it, but I still do it at a comfortable pace. So first thing I want to talk about today is, what is driving? And that might sound like a bit of a silly question, but I've been in cars with people and they think driving is simply getting from point A to point B, as long as you get there. Well, if you're going there and you sit in a car with somebody and you're actually afraid to drive with them, or they're dangerous, or they make these scary maneuvers, then they're not driving, not by my definition. If I'm being driven somewhere, I expect to be driven in a safe manner. I'm not talking by a student here. I'm talking about just a friend picking me up to go somewhere or whatever. If they're going to pick me up and they're going to take me somewhere, I want to feel safe. I don't want to feel like I got to watch the road for the driver. It's the driver's job to be safe and to be gentle on the gas and the brake, not to be panic stopping and flooring it with the gas, that sort of thing. That's not driving. If I'm having a cup of coffee and I gotta go like this and hopefully my coffee, that's not driving by my definition. So what is your job? What are you trying to learn? You're trying to earn the trust of the people who are driving with you. And obviously, you want to be able to earn the trust, ultimately, of an examiner so that you can be given a license to drive all by yourself. Okay, so there are two things you need to be aware of when you're learning to drive. One of them is that you need to be able to learn how to control the vehicle. Now, we can't do that here online. That's not possible, but we can talk about it. So being able to control the vehicle, backing, stopping, starting, maneuvering in multi-lane highways, back lanes, everything. So maneuvering your car, getting a good feel for it. And the other thing is that we can learn online are the rules of the road. So I have a whole bunch of ideas on what we're going to talk about. But in this video, it's just kind of an introduction, okay? So what can you expect to experience when a driving instructor pulls up in his bright, shiny red Toyota Corolla, which is what I drive, by the way? And there he is, and what do you expect when you meet that person? Well, first thing I'll do is I'll greet you and I'll ask if you want to drive out of the area or if you'd like me to drive to a safe starting spot. So you don't even have to drive from the very first time we meet. I'll get some particulars. I'll look at your driver's license, which I will need to look at on every lesson just to make sure you have it. I'll write your phone number and your driver's license down, and I'll get you to sign a form that allows me to book road tests and do business with MPI on your behalf. It's nothing more than that. It just allows me to book tests on your behalf. Okay? And you can expect that I will never yell. Have you ever heard of teachers, instructors, raising their voice at a student? Well, I don't think I've ever done that in my life, and I don't think I ever will. So I will not even allow us to get into a situation where I have to do that. So you can count on me to stay calm. One thing you cannot count on, however, and one thing I am not good at, and that is answering the question, what do I do? If we're in traffic and you're going too fast and something happens and you ask me, what do you do? What do I do? How am I supposed to give you an answer in 2 seconds? That's impossible. So my job is to not allow you to get going too fast. So if I have to tell you, okay, slow down a bit, let's slow it down a little bit, well, then that's because I think we're going too fast, obviously. So your job is to demonstrate that you've learned. Don't save all your good stuff for the day you take a test. Show me that you've learned. Okay, so that's what you can expect on a lesson. What will you expect on a road test? Well, when you go for a road test, you'll sign a paper, and I'll accompany you, and so that you get introduced to the person examining you, and you'll have the keys to the car, and that person will take you out to the car, and I'll just wait patiently for you until you get back. When you're on a road test, you will demonstrate parallel parking, probably first. And so it's important to learn that, because if you don't succeed at the parallel parking portion of the test is discontinued and you have to come and make another appointment. So it's important that we learn how to do that really well. When you go for the test, they're going to use a checklist, and they don't take note of everything you do well. They take note of things that you don't do well. Okay, so you are allowed to make basic errors. They call them general errors. You're allowed to make 10 of those, but you are not allowed to make critical errors. Critical errors would be failing to yield to a pedestrian, going through a red light, going through a stop sign, things that you'd get a ticket for by a police officer. So if you could get a ticket for a certain thing that you've done on the street, speeding is another one, then that would be considered a critical error, and you'd fail the test. The test usually lasts at the maximum a half an hour, so it's not too long. And then the last thing I want to talk about on this introductory video is how to make the most of your time when you're with the instructor in the vehicle. Well, you make the most of your time by, obviously you're going to listen to the best you can to listen, but if you don't understand something, it is your job to let me know. If I say I want you to go 3 to 4 feet, drive 3 to 4 feet away from the parked cars, and you only know meters, and you don't know what a foot is, don't laugh. If you were brought up with the metric system and you don't know the imperial, of course you're going to need to be told. If you don't know what a foot is, or if you don't know what 3 feet are, let me know. I need to know so I can speak your language. You might be in the language of metric, you might be in the language of imperial. It doesn't matter to me. Um, so you have to let me know if you do not understand something, okay? Also, I highly recommend you watch all these videos. If you string all these videos together, it'll probably only be, I'm guessing, 90 minutes to 2 hours. And in those 90 minutes to 2 hours, we'll discuss all the important rules. And that way you don't have to pull over to the road every side of the road every 15 minutes so that I can draw a picture of the rule. It won't be necessary. You'll have already done that. Okay, of course I have to remind you. That's the whole idea. But at least have a basic understanding of that by watching these videos. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. And thanks again for tuning in. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you or your loved one or whomever you might send my way. And have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.